Hello everyone. Today is September 1st, 2016, and I woke up this morning from a really disturbing dream. First I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Alright. Water was coming, a major amount of water. I was crying, breaking down in front of my dad. He dragged it out of me that I was upset because a lot of people were going to die. Also, my brother was driving us somewhere. I had my cat on my lap. Him and some other people in the car were busy caught up in talking about the worldly things while I was in the corner so upset at what was about to take place. People just couldn't see anything, even when it was in front of their faces, like these coming storms. In this dream, I had the ability to see miles and miles away. I wish I knew how many miles it was, but in the dream it was just many, many miles, like to the ocean. And the storm had brought waters inland for many, many miles. It was ridiculous how far inland the water had come in. You could tell at the unusual sights that some of the water was reaching areas that had never seen water before. I really feel like this is about, in the dream it didn't say what it was about, but these storms that have been brewing in the Gulf Coast and near Florida and everything, these have been bothering me ever since someone started putting videos out about them almost like a week ago. I wasn't thinking about that at all last night when I went to bed, or this morning when I had the dream. But while I was having the dream, I just knew that it just felt, like it was regarding these storms in Florida. And sure enough, now it's turned into a hurricane. And also in the dream, it also felt like it could have been the East Coast. Because where I was at in the dream, I could just see for miles and miles and miles, and all this water was coming inland, really far. So, again, I'm sorry. I can only go by what I felt in the dream. It wasn't like I was told in the dream or saw like a monument sign or something to tell me exactly where I was at. But in the dream, it felt like it was Florida and possibly the East Coast, because I think there's another storm that has been being talked about that I don't think it's came to the East Coast yet. Excuse me, I have a cold. Alright, so that was the dream I had this morning. It was really upsetting considering what's happening right now. And now I want to direct you to another video that I previously made, because I've already had a dream about Florida in the past. And I'm just trying to think here. I'll just read my other dream. I do have another video. I think I entitled that one Dream or Warning for Florida. I think I entitled that Tsunami Florida. That's what I think I entitled it. And I'm not sure why I didn't mention hurricane in the name of that video, but this is what my other dream was about Florida. And I'm just going to go ahead and read it straight from my dream log. Major end time dream. Swirling orange hurricanes everywhere, some places first. I'm from the Midwest, so this is why I said the next thing. We happened to be visiting Florida where it hit before home, Illinois. I remember being on the phone with my husband and yelling, "The water is coming." It was a tsunami. I knew we were going to die from the size of the tsunami. I couldn't see the top of the wave coming. It flooded everywhere. In the dream, I kept thinking the Lord said to get to the mountains. This thing hit everywhere. Everyone was just trying to survive. Having your own safe apartment or house was a luxury. And I also wrote down this part, and I'm not sure what this part means. Big black swirls in the water coastline. I'm not sure what the big black swirls are, but people were ignoring them and all of the signs. They just kept swimming. Also in the my other video that I mentioned regarding Florida, I had also mentioned a brother that had sent me an email about a Florida warning, so I wanted to include this one also. Sorry. In his dream, he had a very vivid dream about being in Florida. His was of the east coast of Florida, so I had a very vivid dream of being in Florida on the east coast with my family in a high-rise hotel. Our room was at least 5 stories up. I think it was in the morning because his 8-year-old wasn't up yet. His wife, his daughter, and him were awake. They had a huge window or glass sliding door overlooking a pool and recreation area of a resort and the Atlantic Ocean and beach. So he specifically mentioned the Atlantic. Sorry, I knew I should have took that Advil. What's so disturbing about his dream that's really affecting me today is that I have the Weather Channel on right now, and I've been following it most of the day today regarding the tsunami. And now they keep talking about a surge, surges of water. So this is what he mentions now in his dream. So again, he was at a recreation resort on the Atlantic Ocean and beach. All of a sudden, I look out and see a huge surge of water coming in, and looking down, I see people running and vehicles and people being swept up and engulfed in the water. In just seconds, or maybe a minute or so, water had risen up to the 5th floor where we were at. So we were terrified and yet expecting God's rescue, although it looked like water kept rising to higher floors, but no water was entering the room. And then something unusual happened in his dream. What came next baffled me. An old 1800s sea captain figure came out of the hotel bathroom and came into the bedroom and stood by us, comforting us. He sat down in the bed and kept talking. And then he woke up. So that was the end of his dream. But anyways, the main thing that's bothering me today about this dream of his is that he kept, talking about the surge of water, and that's what they're talking about now. So if you live in Florida, I would just really try to get out of there. A lot of us have had a lot of dreams about Florida, and it's kind of surreal today with this having turned into a hurricane. It sounds horrible. There's already flooding occurring, and the thing hasn't even really hit there yet. I know money is tight and everything, I have the same problem. But if there was just find a way. If I was you, if I lived in Florida right now, I would just be calling everybody. It's an emergency, Maybe you can get money from someone else or whatnot, or I would just be driving. I would drive on out of there. It's better to be safe than sorry, And I really felt like the Lord wanted me to make this video, even though I don't feel good today and everything, but it doesn't matter. The Lord really cares about everyone. He loves you so much. And this thing looks horrible that's coming in, just horrible. And, I also had a dream a while back, too, because I see they're talking about tornadoes also. Excuse me. And they're not only talking about the hurricane that's kind of changed courses as to where they thought it was going to go, but now they're talking about tornado warnings and everything else. It makes me think of another dream I had where tornadoes were not following regular tornado rules at all. So it's just all really disturbing because you don't know what's going to happen, really, Just the weather patterns these days, period, there's just something wrong. So please, if you can, get out of Florida. That's what I would say. And just pray that the Lord help you, If you're like, we really have no one that, can help us get out of here or whatnot, just pray to Him, and He can make things happen just in the blink of an eye. So I'll be praying for you guys, and please try to get out of Florida. All right, I love you. Bye-bye.